Hi kids, welcome to Terry on Tuesday. I'm coming to you from the kitchen of creation, which is now strangely bare because it's not turned into a robot workshop. It's actually Sunday afternoon, early evening, and I am in a little bit of agony because this weekend I went to Wales Comic Con. I'll say that again, it's called Comic Con Wales, not to be confused with Wales Comic Con. And this was the first Comic Con Wales to be held by Monopoly Events in the ICC Centre in Newport. My plan was to go as Marvin, enter their cosplay championships. The top prize is 500 quid. Now, if you're a regular follower of me on my socials, you will know where this is going. But I thought I'd do a quick report about how it went. Wearing Marvin, if you don't count the test on the Friday, for like 10 minutes I had it on. This was the first full time I had everything going, lights, walking around unaided, etc. Right, let's just quickly talk about the aftermath. Both my shoulders are killing me. It's like delayed onset muscle soreness when you go down the gym 2 days later. Everything really aches because I had so much weight on my shoulders, it was ridiculous. It wasn't a digging in pain because I have the strap system, but you've got a lot of weight pulling your arms down, and then you've got to stretch your head up in order to see through the eye of the mouth. The eye of the mouth? The mouth of the robot is your eyes. Anyway, also added to that, I don't know if you can see it, I've got a heck of a load of marks here where it was really digging into my arm, and there as well. There was a rough edge on the inside of the arm, so every time I put it on, what I didn't do, this could have assuaged the damage, is put on my one-piece lycra top, which would have been a bit more slippery here, but instead I decided to wear a t-shirt which didn't go down far enough, so the fiberglass was cutting into me, and there's nothing I could do about it. It was also cutting into this side, but not as badly. There's no marks there, but something, obviously the inside, it feels like a bruise. Obviously the fiberglass on this side was obviously trapping a nerve. Apparently we have a thing called the median nerve, which goes down the arm and then splits up and goes to the thumb and some of the other fingers. Now, I know this because my outside of my thumb here has got pins and needles almost 24 hours later, which is a bit scary because I'm hoping I haven't killed it. Nerve damage is a weird thing. It never comes back. I once mashed my funny bone here, which is a different nerve. It's not the median nerve, it's a different one that goes in between two bones. So when you bang your funny bone, it tingles all the way up the side because it's in charge of this finger and half of this finger. I once bashed it really hard while breakdancing drunk. Sorry, there is a point to this. And I hit it so hard, I felt like my arm was on fire. And to this day, over 15 years later, I've still got slight pins and needles. So that's nerve damage, kids. So I've got a numbness and just on the half of my thumb. These nerves tend to do half a finger each. It's fine up to here, but then from here up, about there to there, it's tingling. It's still tingling almost 24 hours later, so who knows? Anyway, what I thought I'd do is, I nearly didn't go. My friend was going to take me in his car with Marvin in the case, etc., which I managed to pack everything except Marvin's head in the case with a little bit of Tetris skill. We were going to go to there for the 11 o'clock thing, but my friend came down ill, so I was nearly not going. If you follow me on socials, I was like, that's it, not going then. And then a friend of mine, Paul from Newport, has got a big van, and he stepped in and said, look, I'll take you, no problem. So we got there, and it was chaos. There was loads of traffic, there were thousands of people there, and the plan, it's like I couldn't just wheel the box into the place. The queues were massive, so what we decided to do was find somewhere sneaky and nearby, about 100 yards, 200 yards from the front door. It may have been further, it felt like a quarter of a mile. But anyway, I basically changed outdoors in front of the public, just got all my kit off and put all these lycra trousers on and everything else, put Marvin on, got bolted in, and it was a baking, boiling hot day. As soon as I got bolted in, hot, steaming hot. The only ventilation I had apart from the skirt underneath was 2 little holes here for the neck and the mouth that I was looking through. So that was it. Now, as we started walking, me and Paul started walking down this ramp to get to the main front door queue kind of thing. And the queue was massive, right? It was probably 500 people, maybe more. My right shin popped off. The little straps and the poppers that hang onto the thigh, they popped off and slipped down. And there is no way to put that back without taking the entire suit off. You just can't reach up inside to pop the straps back on. We tried. Lots of people. I'll tell you about the cough in a minute as well. Anyway, I'll put some pictures up here so you can see what's happening with the shin. You'll notice the shin is actually situated too far down on one leg. And that was ridiculously painful, because the shin and the ankle then were rubbing and cutting, the sharp edges, top edges, were cutting into my shin. And I don't know if you can see that, there's a slight, that's a scab now, but it was a blister, and it's still quite sore. So every time I took a step, it was into my leg, and Paul dropped me off and had to go. So in the one hand I had my micro switches to play the Marvin quotes, the 4 buttons, so I could have 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. And in this hand I was holding a plastic bag with an Allen key, which was handy because that if I bump into anyone I know, I can give them the Allen key through the handles, and say, "Take my head off, will you?" And anyway, instead of having to queue, thank goodness, one of the she was a cosplayer, but she was also a volunteer of the staff of the con, came to find me and said, "Come with us, we'll get you in without queuing, because obviously you're in a giant boiling hot suit, and you need to be prejudged by the cosplay judges." So here I am doing, like, limping one step at a time, in agony, already sweating like crazy. But they got me in a couple of lifts. People were very surprised to see Marvin, and a lot of people recognised me. But we got up to the prejudging room, and there was quite a lot of judges, but in the actual room were people I actually know quite well, who were guest cosplayers. So you had Emmy Claire cosplay, and you had Heroes of Geek cosplay. So they were basically interviewing every entrant for the cosplay competition and asking them about their costume build and how long it took and what did you do and what did you like and that kind of thing. Now, it wasn't like favoritism going on. I'm pretty sure that, you know, the amount of events that these cosplayers who were doing the prejudging they probably know loads of them. So it's not like, oh, we'll favourite Terry or whatever. Far from it. Anyway, so I did the prejudging thing. Then I staggered outside, and I realised I was on my own. That was it. I was kind of standing there, bolted into this thing that I couldn't get out of, and that was it. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't really walk around without being in pain, so I stood still. I stood in a corner and occasionally waved at people and looked my head. Some people came up for photos, and I was pressing the random yes, no, long rants and short rants on the micro switches. It went down quite well. And then I bumped into some friends of mine. My friend turned up. I haven't seen him for a long time. His name was Neil. He was dressed as a SHIELD agent, so everyone thought he was staff, but he had a lanyard and this kind of stuff. But he was a lifesaver, because he turned up, helped me take the head off and an arm, so I could use my phone and I could get some air. And I couldn't sit down or anything, but it was a lifesaver. So while I was doing that for a few hours, literally standing still and talking to people, obviously lots of people came up for photos, but my friend Paul, who had bolted me into the thing, was feeling a little bit, I don't think we should have left Terry, because if he doesn't know anyone and he collapses in that suit, no one will know he's got an Allen key in his hand, and they can't get him out. They'd literally have to smash the costume to bits to get him out if I had collapsed under the heat, because it was ridiculously hot. Thankfully, although I don't like the heat, I'm quite resilient when it comes to that for costumes and stuff. Jack Sparrow was very hot on the head. Stormtrooper costumes are quite hot. And Marvin was like a little microwave. It was boiling. I'll just put up some video footage here that my friend James was good enough to take of me, and some stills. There'll just be all random stuff. In fact, I'll shift over so you can watch the video at the same time. Anyway, so I was there. We found out that John Cena, the main guest, this is Peacemaker John Cena, by the way, the wrestler, he decided to do a talk from 1:30 till 2, which pushed the cosplay competition back till 2 o'clock, because originally it was going to be 1:30. So we waited for him, but again, some of the staff grabbed me and the rest of the cosplay entrants, took us down lifts or down to the basement, I think it was, and said, what we're going to do is sneak you on backstage and then behind John Cena while he's talking. So we did that, and he, honestly, this is not like lying, there was some snickers and stuff as all the cosplayers lined up. But when I stepped out onto the stage, there was a big laugh because obviously I'm this comedy robot. So that made him turn around, and he turned around and was like, whoa, what's going on here? So he said, I couldn't hear very much because of the costume, but he did say something along the lines of, give it up for these people who work really hard on their costumes. And, that's really nice of him. He came across as a genuine, decent guy. And so we all shuffled back out again. He finished his talk. Then he came out and walked straight up to me and went, whoa, that's sick, man, that's sick. And I was like, hi, John, from inside here. And, what happened before that, just before that, my micro switches had died. They got a little watch battery in the keyring thing, which powers the micro switches by Bluetooth. The speaker was fine, but the micro switches weren't firing off the Bluetooth. So it was my fault. I'd had the micro switches set up for over 2 years, so the batteries lasted quite well considering. Anyway, John Cena came up, had a photo with me, and he was like, that's awesome, man. I can't remember if he asked Neil to take a photo of us or Neil asked him to take a photo of us, but he was interested in seeing my suit. So, bless him. I got a photo with him, so that was a real nice bonus. Wasn't even expecting that. So we were waiting outside for a good 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I managed to get the head off again, to breathe for a bit. Sweat was pouring down me while all the cosplayers and myself waited for the judges to do their thing. So they did a talk and all this kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, Paul comes back. He's like, where the hell were you? I was like, well, I can't answer my phone. I'm in a robot costume. But he said, I was wondering if you were actually, alive and surviving quite well. So here you are. I've got the long screwdriver to help you get out of the suit. And I said, well, I don't have to get it off yet because I'm going to go back in and do the competition thing. So anyway, we lined up backstage. And then we heard the judges. Now, again, I'm in this thing and I can't hear very much. Every time I walk, it's with all the noise of costume doing all this. By then, my waist belt, which holds my suspender straps, which hold the thighs on, had begun to slide down. So the legs began to slide down, making it almost impossible to walk. I'm literally limping on one leg now. Left leg's fine. Left leg's okay. Right leg's all gone to bits. The shin had been down, it's hacking into my leg, and I'm stumbling along. I've lost a bolt from one of the mandibles on the hand, so one of the hands was hanging off, and sweat was pouring, a condensation pouring down the inside of my thing, and everything was aching, and I was just trying to put my head against the side of the robot head, and because it's like having someone on your shoulders for 6 hours, because I was in it for 6 hours, which I do not recommend, kids, for health and safety. Don't be putting costumes on for 6 hours, especially if you're bolted into them and can't get out in a hurry. Thankfully, I didn't need a toilet break, but 6 hours with a lot of weight on your shoulders will do you in, and also, nerve damage. So, they called in some honourable mentions. There was a guy as a Tuscan Raider. He got an honourable mention, got some prize. I'm not sure what it was, tickets or something. And then they called in my friend Noel from Bristol, who had a homemade Boba Fett. He went out there and he won something. And then they called me next. And to be honest, I obviously got a massive round of applause. It was, oh man, someone shouted, "I love you, Marvin!"
Is this a cosplay contest? Why the F isn't Peacemaker up here? Leave me hanging out to dry, bro. So what's going on? We gotta move down so we can get in. Because this is really hard. Well, it's Ray. How are you? This is fantastic. Welcome.
It was awesome because it was three, it was a stage, but it was 3 levels of audience. And so I limped out there, waved to everyone as best I could, did the robot or whatever. And then it was like, what do I do now? And everyone was like, back out. So I went back out. So I got back out and people started leaving and I was like, what happens now? So Neil and Paul took the head off and I was like, what happened then? And they said, you just won first prize. I'm like, whoa, what? Are you sure? It was 3, 2, 1. So it was basically, they announced me last. I'd won first prize, which was 500 smackaroonies, which I knew that was the first prize anyway. Apparently, it may be that I get moved on to the Liverpool heats at some point. I don't know if I can afford to go there or whatever, but we'll see how that goes and when that's going to happen. But yeah, I'd won first prize. I mean, of course, I went there hoping I'd win first prize, and I did. And I got to stress this: the pre-judging was done by 3 cosplayers I know, Heroes of Geek, which is Sash and Van, and Emmy Claire. Now, although those people know me, like I say, they know other cosplayers as well. There were about 10 or 15 judges in total, so their influence is a small part of whatever. They could still vote yes for me, and I could still have lost. So I don't think there was any sort of fixing, because people will always say, "Oh, fix," and biased. It wasn't biased, I don't think. I was totally prepared to lose. There were some amazing costumes there, but what I found was the really, really impressive costumes, and there was loads. A lot of those people didn't enter the competition. Would have kicked my ass out of the competition totally, but they didn't enter. They were just there to wander around. In all, it was a fantastic show. I didn't get to see anything. I limped around a little bit, saw my friends in the Daleks, Drax, Alan, Decimus, and Blitz. And it's going on right now today, and I can't go there. I feel ill. This is where the cough. I went to bed about 6 p.m. after having a bath. I was tired, aching all over, coughing, sneezing. I still got a really sore throat. I've just done another voiceover, 6,000 words. And I took a COVID test because I thought I've got it again. Really bunged up, really dehydrated. Test came negative. So I don't have COVID, I just feel rotten. It's a lot what people call con flu as well. You spend a lot of time in a convention and it's air conditioning or whatever. It dries you up and makes you feel ill. So I'm taking it easy today. I've obviously got work to do, drawing and writing and stuff. But I thought you'd enjoy seeing little bits of video. I'm glad that James and, firstly I'm glad that Paul helped me, otherwise I wouldn't have been going there at all. I'm very glad for Neil for sticking with me for the rest of the day. We were out of there by about 4 o'clock. We had a quick de-kit so I could have a quick toilet break, and then we put it all back on, leg included, so I could walk out there a little bit better. I couldn't speak because I didn't have the voice working, but I could go out there, pose for more photos, and then get out of there. We got to the car park, took everything off. As you'll see in this picture, very sweaty. Paul thought that was funny. See? And in all, a very, very exhausting 6 hours. I would have loved to have stayed and wandered around, but it just wasn't doable. I was ready to fall over, basically. Like I say, I went to bed by 6. I was like, that's it, I'm done. I felt like I'd been beaten up. It was that bad. But the other thing I want to do is say a big, huge thank you to Steve Perbrick, who made many visits down to my place from his house to do the trial fittings and all that stuff. And he also did a load of sanding and filling on most of the bottom half. In fact, he did all the bottom half. He did the feet, ankles, thighs and shins, sanded and filled them all till they were dead smooth. And that, I would never have got that finished if it wasn't for him. So big thanks to Steve for that. I'll see you on Tuesday, Steve. Actually today, Terry, on Tuesday, isn't it? So I'll see you later. Yeah, so aside from achy shoulders and cuts and bruises and nerve damage, it's a really good, fun time. Again, it was such a hellish experience. I don't know when I'm going to get in that suit next. There'll have to be a good reason to, because it is uncomfortable. I'll definitely have him on a stand, like Mike Tucker does. But I have to repair the hand, I have to repair the ankle, the strip of leather's come off, the rubber strips around the feet have come off. There's a bolt missing on the other hand, I think. I got to get new batteries in the micro switches. And yeah, it was, I discovered a load of things that need improving and fixing. I may even break Canon a little bit and drill some more ventilation holes around the head so I can see some more pinholes and, little things just to get some air in so I can hear better and I can see through tiny pinholes. All that kind of stuff will help. So that's been my my Comic-Con, my Wales Comic-Con experience. It looks like an amazing show. I wish I could have wandered around it today, just as a punter, just to see more of my cosplay mates and people I haven't seen for a long time. The stands and the guests were amazing. There was loads of merch there that I didn't get to see. But, I came home with first prize, so I was well chuffed about that. And like I said, it was 500 squid. 300 of that is going into the Bloody Students film account. Why not the full amount, you say? Well, the cost of living is going up. I can't put it all. If I could put it all into the film budget, I would. But rent is due every month. Bills are due every month. I've got to buy food. Unfortunately, I can't throw every penny I get into the film account. I would love to. But we're currently doing an August fundraiser all this month via Ko-fi. So the link is here and also in the description below. You just click that and you can make a donation to the Bloody Students film, which is doing really well at the moment, actually. We're only today we're seven days in. It'll be 9 days in by the time you watch this. And, we're doing pretty well. I threw in 300 yesterday and we're something like £500-600 up so far. So it's not bad. It's just a little thing to just try and raise some money while all this time is going by, while we're trying to cast the film and stuff and those kind of things. Anyway, I've waffled far too long. I hope you've enjoyed the pictures and the video. Marvin, the test video that Steve shot almost went viral. I mean, for me, I had about 300 likes and retweets and a couple of people, including the great David Lerner, who wore the suit in the 80s. And a couple of my favourite YouTubers all liked it and commented on it. So that was nice. Loads of people said, fantastic. And most people said cliched old lines like, oh, I've seen it, it's rubbish. Yeah, we know. That's the Marvin equivalent of, aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper? So witty. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching me cough. I will see you next Tuesday. I have no idea what for. My next project obviously is Bloody Students all the way. I do have Jack Sparrow costume bits coming in occasionally, which I'm doing a lot cheaper and in no rush, so I'm not spending too much on it and not spending too much time on it. And I still do have a police box to make at some point. I wonder if I can get any of that done during this weather. I doubt it, I've got too much work on. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks in advance if you feel like clicking the Bloody Students Ko-fi budget fund subscriber donation thing. That'd be awesome. And I will see you very soon. So take care now and bye bye then.